Hello, welcome into this episode of the DJ Preps Football Preview Show. I'm your host, the Batman. This is my sidekick, the Ginger Ghost. We're here to talk football. Should I do the Batman voice the whole time, Dalton?
No.
No?
No. Take it
I'll take this off too. I don't know how Christian Bale did that voice for 3 whole movies. Hey, it's me, really. Tricked you, didn't I? Happy Halloween, because that's coming up next week, Dalton, isn't it?
It is.
What are you going as?
The redheaded stepchild.
Ooh, nice. I don't know what I guess I'll just wear that again, the mask. I don't have the... No, wait, I do have a cape somewhere. Anyway, hey, welcome to the show. Quick explainer. We're going to talk about 3 big games coming up this week. Do the Broughton Award. We'll tell you about our coverage plans for this Friday night. Oh, it's week 11, Dalton, of the high school football season. Hard to believe. It's almost playoff time.
Yeah, the last week of the regular season for some teams.
Yeah, some teams. It's the last week for 2, 3, and 4A. 1, 5, and 6A have another week. So, real quick, we do the picks every week. We make predictions. We'll do that too. Going to change it up this week, though. Last week's picks, we've been using the coin, letting fate decide who wins. The coin went 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not been doing that well. And really, on the suggestion of William Bronson, the guy that signs our paychecks, and I think it's a good idea. Just Dalton, you and I will just make the picks. We'll pick the winners. If you don't like it, send us an angry email or tweet, and it'll be fine. I'll respond sarcastically, maybe. So here are the 3 big... Oh, no, wait. Before we get to the games, you've got to retire the coin, Dalton. Got to say goodbye to the coin. This is James Puckett's coin. He's the guy behind the camera. I'm supposed to say something nice about it, I guess, but it didn't do that good a job. So here you go, James. 3 big games this week, Dalton. We got some huge ones. We got Horn Lake at Tupelo, Olive Branch at Lafayette, and Pontotoc at Shannon. Those are some good games, man. So let's get right into it. We'll start with the Horn Lake at Tupelo game. The matchup here, Dalton. The Division I 6A title is at stake, kind of. Horn Lake can clinch it with a win. Now, Tupelo wins, still going to have to, I believe, beat Oxford the next week, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
They win 2 straight to get it.
Okay, so it's certainly within their grasp. So what we're going to do here is go over 3 big keys to the game. Key number 1, Stephon McGlaughlin, the Tupelo quarterback, he came back last week. Dalton had been injured since the season opener with a broken ankle, and he played against DeSoto Central in the win. And so be interested to see if he's got enough rust knocked off this week to take on a very good Horn Lake defense. What did you see from Stephon last week?
Well, I saw a lot of rust. And he was one to admit it after the game. I think he was like 2 of 9, 2 of 8 of his first, only completed 2 of his first 8 throws.
Right.
And then he completed, I think it was his last 6 or last 5 or something like that, and ended up having a decent game. They didn't pass it a crazy amount. They had a lot of pass interference calls that were called against the offense that just kind of hurt him. But he just opens up the run game right there whenever he's in there. It's just he does. They can spread 4 wide receivers out. I hadn't seen that all year, and it's not teams stacking 11 in the box against J-Rock, is what it seems like in the past.
Who still gets his yards, but those yards for Jaquarius Williams and the rest of the offense will be tough to come by. Key number 2, that Horn Lake defense, Dalton, it is it's the word stingy comes to mind. They're only giving up 9.1 points per game. They're allowing 133.6 yards per game. That's total yardage. And on the ground, only 52.2 yards per game, Dalton. They've been shutting some teams down, some good teams. And they're led by Nakobe Dean. He is the number 1 recruit in Mississippi in the 2019 class, Dalton, the linebacker there for Horn Lake. So, to me, this is easily Tupelo's biggest test, for its offense at least.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, it'd probably be the biggest test for Horn Lake's defense, though.
That's true.
But they have 4 D1 kids on that offense.
Yeah, and they're finally kind of healthy now.
Yeah. And they're going, and Horn Lake, it seems like I wouldn't say they're playing bad, but they haven't been playing as well as they were the first, 7 games as they have been the last 2. So maybe if there's a time to strike for Tupelo, I guess this is going to be the week.
Exactly. And then key number 3, which team has the scarier mascot? Okay, which is scarier to you, Eagles or Golden Wave? It's not even a contest. The Eagle, symbol of freedom, America.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to mess with anything, the Golden Wave of anything.
Yeah, but imagine if you're a field mouse. The Eagles coming for you. You got no chance. Prediction time. Okay, again, no more coin. Forget that. We're going to pick the winners ourselves, Dalton. So give me a winner and a score.
Horn Lake 28-20.
I will say Horn Lake 20-14. Yeah, it's at Tupelo, and I think it'll be a good, close defensive struggle for the most part. So that is our first game. Watch out, James. Second game, Olive Branch at Lafayette. Big battle there in Division 1-5A. Basically a battle for second place behind West Point, Dalton. Both of these teams doing very well. Three keys to the game. Number one, can Olive Branch slow down Lafayette's three-headed rushing attack? I mean, these guys, the quarterback Randy Anderson and his two running backs, Lance Stewart and Jamie Shaw, they've just been tearing defenses up all year, Dalton. They've combined for 2,923 rushing yards. And the quarterback Anderson can throw it a little bit too. So you can't just focus on one or even two guys. And I've seen them play; they're legit. Key number two: turnovers. Lafayette's only committed 3 turnovers. Dalton. Olive Branch has only committed 7. So anybody that commits a turnover in this game, that's going to be a rare opportunity that does not need to be squandered for the other team. Because again, the 10 combined turnovers is not something that happens that often. And I don't know, Dalton. This is a game I'm going to be at, and this should be a really fun one.
Yeah, well, so you mentioned turnovers. Turnage can, he can force some turnovers.
See
He
what
probably
you did
has. Yeah, right.
Brandon Turner's the other DB for Lafayette. He's got, I think, 4 interceptions last I checked.
Yeah, he's got more turnovers forced than the team has turnovers. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's forced 4. Lafayette's only given up 3. Look at Dalton dropping some knowledge. Key number 3, which has the scarier mascot. Okay, we got conquistadors and commodores. Now, a conquistador is literally someone who conquers. They win. It's just by definition who they are. Although I don't like the fact that they shortened the nickname up there sometimes to Keisters.
I didn't know they did that.
Sound as threatening. It's yeah. Commodores. That's also a military type deal. Like a captain of a ship or something. So I don't know. I'll go with conquistadors. Predictions.
You go first this time.
Okay, I'll go first. I will say Lafayette, 31-28.
I was gonna say Lafayette 35 to about 33 or 34.
Just commit to a number.
33.
Dalton does this all the time. 33, no, you got to commit. 35-33, okay. And that is game number 2. Game number 3, woo, watch out. Hit the camera. This is the game of the week to me, Dalton. Pontotoc at Shannon, Division 2-4A on the line. Both of these teams undefeated in division. The winner gets the number 1 seed. And the loser still gets a pretty good consolation prize. They should still get a home game, but in the playoffs. But the 3 keys to the game. Again, this one's at Shannon. Those Shannon wide receivers, Dalton, they're really good. But so is that Pontotoc secondary. You got Eric Rogers and Javis Wren that lead Shannon in the passing game. You're going to have to deal with some good defensive backs though at Pontotoc, like Ralph Dunn and Caleb Triplett, who I saw last week. And when I covered their game, he had a 92-yard pick 6 in the last play of the game. So they're really tough to throw against. Key number 2. Shannon would do well to get off to a fast start because last week, Dalton, Pontotoc fell behind 21-0 to Itawamba AHS. Came back and won. But I have a feeling if you fall behind to Shannon 21-0, that offense is just probably going to keep rolling. It's going to be hard to come back, isn't it?
Yeah, they've scored 50 points in 7 straight games or 5 straight games, something like that.
Yeah, one of the most explosive offenses in Northeast Mississippi. So cannot afford to fall behind 3 touchdowns to Shannon if you're Pontotoc there. And then key number 3, the scarier mascot. You got Warriors and Red Raiders. What is a Red Raider? I've always kind of wondered that. I mean, their mascots on their logo is like a pirate, so it's basically a pirate.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mess with a pirate. I'll take a pirate.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Okay. Predictions, Dalton. Pontotoc at Shannon. Who you got?
Shannon 34-28.
Man, I want to
36-28.
36-28. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to say Pontotoc 28-24.
I think Shannon's offense a little too powerful right now, and Pontotoc's not playing.
Yeah, true. The Pontotoc's offense got off to a slow start the other night.
They got 2 slow starts the last 2 games.
But then that's because Itawamba had Ike Chandler just ran the ball all over him. So let's see. That's it for the 3 big games. Broughton Award time. Best 1-2 punch from last week. Smithville's Octavian Miller and Jabril Smith in a 33-27 win at TCPS. Miller, the quarterback, and 118 yards and a touchdown passing, 108 yards and a touchdown rushing. Smith, the running back, had 186 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground for Smithville. So congrats to those guys. The Broughton Award. Okay, let's wrap it up with telling y'all where we're going to be this Friday night to cover games. Dalton will be at the Horn Lake Tupelo game. Pontotoc at Shannon. We'll have David Wheeler out there. Aberdeen at South Pontotoc. John Wise. Moorville at Amory. Melissa Metter. I'll be at Olive Branch Lafayette. And then we've got Warren Central at Starkville with Paul Jones. on the ground there for us. And that's it for this episode, this very special Halloween episode of the DJ Preps Football Preview Show. Be sure to check out our podcast as well, Prep Rally, every Wednesday. You can find it in iTunes, any of your podcast apps. We're at preprally.djournal.com, and follow us on Twitter at djournalpreps. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Happy Halloween. Here you go, James. Nice catch.
Heads.
Heads.